Obese people and malnourished people swap diets with each other. The two extreme experiences of eating until you're full and not eating enough. In the UK, there are two extreme groups of people. One is extremely obese, the other is extremely thin. According to the UK Population Data Report, 1 in 4 people are overweight. There is also an extreme group of people who suffer from severe malnutrition due to myopia, leaving them as thin as a bone. To study and discuss these two conditions, a TV show was created in the UK, where 8 obese people and 8 skinny people were gathered. Researchers divided them into 8 groups. 1 fat person and 1 thin person in each group were asked to swap diets. This comparison allows them to understand what eating problems they have. Today's fat guest is Jeff. His skinny partner is John. Jeff is so fat that he can't find where his neck is. And John is as skinny as a bamboo pole that bends easily. This is the first time he's seen someone so fat. He now only hopes that in the subsequent exchange diet Jeff does not eat too much. Jeff is 49 years old and weighs nearly 400 pounds. In his mind, his diet is very healthy and balanced. He doesn't know why he's fat. Let's take a look at what he eats on a regular basis. He wakes up in the morning and eats a burger that he can barely hold in his hands. Lunch is a sandwich made from a bag of bread. Jeff's favorite thing is bread, and he can enjoy it with a little butter. In addition to mealtime, his free time mouth also did not stop. Even if he eats healthily, he will eventually gain weight if he eats more than one portion. He had to eat 9 meals a day and uncontrolled snacks. How can this not be fat? In fact, Jeff was in normal weight in college, but after that his weight went up wildly, although he also lost weight a few times in the middle, but in the end did not stick to it. Last year, his company fired him and his wife was told by the hospital that she had a brain tumor. This caused Jeff's stress level to increase. He felt that his heart was having some problems too. He stayed at home to recuperate during that time, so his daily leisure activity was to eat, which is why he was getting fatter and fatter. By now, Jeff's huge weight was getting to be too much for him to handle. Jeff had to consider serious weight loss for his own sake, although he still does not admit that he eats the problem. When we look at the exchange diet after, he will still say so. This skinny guy knows exactly why he is so skinny. John's job is a singer, age 23, height 185 centimeters, but weighs only 122 pounds. This is what he manages to do to control his image. Although he usually doesn't like to eat much, his fridge at home is almost empty. He also only needs a cup of coffee in the morning, feeling hungry, and then fill up on random things every day. Because he often did not eat, John usually relied on desserts to get calories. But dessert can only be happy once, and in order to stay happy, John slowly developed an attachment to candy. He even had to buy a big jar and eat a little at any time. John is now extremely dissatisfied with his body. He also wants to make his body a little broader. But John's chronic lack of fiber and protein from not eating has left him very weak and constipated. It was not uncommon for him to go weeks without having a bowel movement. If he continued like this, he would have developed many diseases in a short time. Now they were sharing a room with 2 people who weighed hundreds of pounds apart and exchanged diets. On the first day of breakfast, Jeff prepared a bowl of cereal and milk for John, but John didn't prepare anything. So Jeff just arrived on the first day of the morning to go hungry. But John also had a hard time. He could hardly swallow the cereal to eat the bowl. Jeff served 2 bacon sandwiches. John can only continue to hold out. It was lunchtime again, and Jeff prepared another hot dog for John. This hot dog was thicker than John's arm, but Jeff still didn't get anything. John's usual sugar intake was more than 3 times the limit, and he was already addicted to sugar. The doctor began to make sugar for John in order to show him the dangers of eating too much sugar. First of all, this jar of sugar is the amount of sugar John will eat in a day. Plus some dessert oil coloring, and some unscrupulous merchants will add spicy. He mixes all these well. This is the sugar food that John will eat every day. Now John was starting to get a little sick of sugar. The doctor also told him that eating too much sugar does not necessarily make you fat, but you will definitely get sick. John finally realized that his addiction to sugar was bad. Shortly after lunch, Jeff brought John some more bread. This is just the usual Jeff's afternoon tea, but John was in pain from eating it. Jeff finally got a cup of coffee with sugar. Jeff sipped his coffee and wondered if he had really eaten too much. At dinner, Jeff prepared a pizza and salad for John, and Jeff finally had some real food to fill his stomach. A small chicken burger and a side of fries. Jeff munching on his hard-earned burger. John had eaten 5 meals today alone. John was amazed by how much he ate, but he was also happier. Was that the end of the day? Not really. In the wee hours of the morning, Jeff came to John's door with a pot of food. John woke up with a start. Oh my God, cereal at 1 o'clock in the morning. But John had no choice but to wake up and finish it. The next day Jeff brought John another plate of toast, and John had a bag of candy for Jeff's breakfast. Although it seems strange to eat candy in the morning, it's better than nothing at all. John also complains about Jeff's diet here. Not only does John complain that he eats 6 meals a day, but he even has to eat at 1 a.m. bedtime. They both questioned each other's diets and realized that they had problems with their own diets as well. 2 days of diet exchange passed. The doctor prepared their own nutritional recipes. 2 months later, they were back on the show again. John had gained 20 pounds and his face looked rounder and more handsome. Jeff had lost 28 pounds. He had gotten his diet under control and increased his swimming. Fortunately, he has a new job and is living in peace with his wife. The changes they both made have been very successful. I'm sure they will get better and better afterwards.